Monica had only just stepped out of the changing room when she heard the scream. "Help! Somebody help! There's a child in the pool." She dropped the mop she was holding and ran with all the strength left in her feet. The sound of splashing water and terrified voices guided her to the poolside. The hotel's luxury pool glistened under the afternoon sun, but no one was swimming. Everyone stood frozen, watching a tiny body bob up and down in the water. Without hesitation, Monica kicked off her slippers and jumped into the pool. Her hands reached the child in seconds. A boy small, fragile, no older than 6. His soaked shirt clung to his tiny frame, his arms limp, his eyes closed. Monica wrapped her arms around him and kicked her legs until she broke the surface, gasping for breath. She climbed out of the water with the boy in her arms, coughing and shouting, "Somebody get the medical team, please!" A nurse and a staff medic rushed forward with a first aid kit. Monica gently laid the boy down on the concrete tiles. The boy didn't move. "Come on, stay with me," she whispered, her hands trembling. The medic began chest compressions. People gathered. Phones came out. A woman nearby began to pray. Then the boy let out a small cough, then another. He started to breathe, weakly at first, but he was alive. Gasps of relief filled the air. Monica sat beside him, soaked and shaking, watching as the hotel's medical team worked to stabilize the child. She was about to move when something caught her eye. There, on the boy's left hand, just below his thumb, was a small, oddly shaped mark. A birthmark. Her breath caught in her chest. She blinked, leaned closer, and traced it gently with her finger. It was exactly the same as hers. Her hands flew to her mouth. "No," she whispered. "It can't be." Her heart pounded so loud, she could barely hear anything around her. Memories came flooding back. Her baby boy, born on a stormy night in a dimly lit clinic. His tiny hand. That same birthmark. The boy she had lost. The boy that was taken. She sat back, staring at the boy as if she were looking at a ghost. The child moaned and stirred slightly, then went still again. "Who is his parent?" Monica asked the nurse. Her voice shook. The woman shrugged. "No idea. He came in with a bodyguard. The father is on his way." Monica's body went cold. She stood there, unmoving, staring at the boy. Minutes passed. Then, a convoy of black SUVs pulled up near the hotel entrance. Doors opened. Private security men in black suits jumped out, pushing through the gathering. And then he appeared. Donald. Tall, handsome, and still wearing that same confident smirk she remembered. He was shouting, pushing past the crowd. "Where's my son? Jerry! Jerry, are you okay?" He reached the pool area. As he saw the boy being taken into the emergency room beside the hotel lobby, he rushed after them. But the head nurse stopped him. "Sir, you should first thank the woman who saved your son." Donald turned, eyes meeting Monica's for the first time in 5 years. His face went pale. She stood there, drenched in water, apron clinging to her body, but her eyes burning with years of pain. "Do you remember me, Donald?" she asked, her voice rising. People turned. "Do you remember the girl you left in a one-room apartment? The one you promised to love forever and then disappeared with her baby?" Gasps rippled through the crowd. Donald's lips parted, but no words came out. Monica stepped forward, pointing at him. "This man stole my baby 5 years ago. That child Jerry, he is my son." Hotel guests, staff, security, everyone froze. "I tried everything," she cried, her voice cracking. "Police, lawyers, my family abandoned me. No one listened. But today God brought my son back." Donald raised his hands, panicking. "Let's not cause a scene." "This is the scene you created," Monica yelled. "You think your money makes you untouchable, that you can take a child from his mother and walk free." Dozens of phones were recording now. Someone whispered Monica's name. Another began live streaming. Donald's security shifted uneasily. The hotel's head of security stepped forward. "Sir, we're going to need you to remain here until the police arrive." Monica knelt beside her son's stretcher. Her hand gently brushed his soaked curls. Her tears dropped onto his cheek. A journalist broke through the crowd. "Ma'am, are you saying the billionaire businessman Donald George abducted your son?" Yes, Monica said, voice steady. And today, he gets to face the truth. Police sirens echoed in the distance. Donald took a step back. You don't know what you're doing, Monica. You'll ruin both our lives. You already ruined mine, she snapped. Now let the law fix it. The camera lights flashed. And just like that, everything Monica had bottled inside for years, every tear, every night spent wondering if her baby was alive, every humiliation she endured exploded into a moment the world would never forget. But this was just the beginning. Long before the pool rescue and flashing cameras, there was only a scared girl in love. Monica was 18 the first time she held Donald's hand. She had just graduated as the best student from her high school in Nusuka and was helping her mother, Sandra, sell yams at the local market when Donald walked in, dressed casually in jeans and sneakers, different from the rich men she had seen in magazines. He had come to town on a community outreach project organized by his school in Lagos. At first, Monica didn't know he was the son of Chief Georgia the Man, who owned most of the cement factories and transport companies across Nigeria. He never mentioned it. Donald spoke softly, always asking Monica questions about her dreams and what she wanted from life. I want to be a software engineer, she once said shyly, but my parents say university is too expensive. He smiled then. Maybe one day you'll own your own tech company, and I'll be your first investor. It felt like a dream. They began meeting secretly. He would sneak away from his father's estate to see her in the evenings, usually near the mango tree at the back of her house. He brought snacks, gadgets, even books on coding. He told her things like, "You're not like other girls, Monica. You have fire in your eyes." But fire couldn't protect her from the truth that came crashing down when she found out she was pregnant. Donald was scared at first, but after a few days, he told her something that made her heart believe again. "I'll take care of everything. Pack your things. I've rented a place outside the city. No one will find us there. We'll build our life together, just you, me, and the baby." Monica was torn. Her parents were strict, and her father, David, would never accept a relationship with someone from a different tribe, especially not a man from a billionaire family whose culture they considered proud and disconnected. So, one night, she left. With only a small bag and a heart full of love, Monica followed Donald to a tiny one-room apartment in the outskirts of Enugu. The walls were cracked, the mattress thin, and the fan barely worked. But Donald brought food, paid rent, and assured her it was only temporary. "We'll get a house in Lekki soon," he promised. "But for now, this is safer. My father must never know. If he hears about us, everything will fall apart." Monica believed him. She believed him when the power went out, and he said, "Don't worry, we'll laugh about this in our mansion one day." She believed him when her belly grew large, and he kissed it, saying, "You're the strongest woman I know." She even believed him when she went into labor, and he rushed her to a small clinic at night, panicking as if it was his first time hearing the word contraction. The delivery was painful. The lights blinked in the clinic, the nurses were overworked, and Monica screamed for hours. But when it was all over, she held her son in her arms and smiled through tears. He had Donald's nose and her eyes. They named him Jerry. For a while, things felt right. Donald visited every night. He bought diapers, powdered milk, and once brought a gold bracelet with Jerry's initials on it. But then, silence. Days turned into weeks, and Donald stopped coming. No calls, no texts. Monica waited. She begged the clinic receptionist to let her make phone calls with their landline. She walked for miles just to check the nearby bus station, hoping to see him. But nothing. One afternoon, almost a year after Jerry was born, Monica heard a knock. It was Donald. He looked tired but excited. "I'm sorry," he said. "Everything happened so fast. My father died. I had to take over the company, but I'm here now, and I have big plans for us." She was angry, but she still loved him. Then he knelt beside Jerry, now crawling across the floor, and smiled. "Can I take him out for a little walk? Maybe buy him biscuits? I want to feel like a real dad today." Monica hesitated. "You'll bring him back, right?" "Of course," he said. She handed the boy over, and that was the last time she saw her son for 5 whole years. Back in the present, Monica sat beside Jerry's hospital bed. The little boy was asleep now, the soft beeping of machines echoing gently in the quiet room. Her fingers brushed his curls again. She watched the slow rise and fall of his chest, wondering how many birthdays she had missed. How many nights he cried for her while someone else wiped his tears. Ngozi, the lawyer, stepped in. "I just finished talking to the police. They're filing a formal charge against Donald for child abduction and emotional abuse." Monica looked up. "Will he go to jail?" Ngozi sighed. "That depends on the judge, but at the very least, he'll face serious consequences. You're not alone anymore." Monica whispered, "I don't want his money. I just want my son back." Ngozi nodded. "And you will. But you'll also get justice. And that means he pays not just with his heart, but with everything he tried to protect when he stole your baby." A soft knock came at the door. It was a female hotel staff member. "Sorry to disturb. There's a long queue of journalists downstairs asking to speak with you. Some women's organizations are offering legal support. One woman said your story gave her the courage to fight for her own children." Monica closed her eyes and breathed deeply. For years, she had lived in silences, scrubbing floors, sweeping lobbies, and eating leftovers just to survive. Now, her voice had been heard. Her pain had a name. And her son was alive. But what came next would test her even more, because Donald wasn't done fighting, and the world wasn't done watching. The courthouse was packed. Camera flashes lit up the morning sky as Monica stepped out of the black SUV provided by the Women's Legal Coalition. She wore a simple cream blouse tucked into a black skirt, her hair pulled into a neat bun. Her hands clutched Jerry's favorite teddy bear, the only thing she had left from him before he vanished. Reporters shouted questions. Some waved microphones. Others whispered her name like it was some kind of miracle. But Monica didn't flinch. Beside her stood Ngozi, calm and professional. "Don't speak to anyone yet. Let's stay focused. The evidence is solid. We'll win this." Inside the court, the air was tense. Donald sat at the front row of the defendant's side, dressed in a sleek grey suit, his face carefully blank. His lawyers, 5 of them, whispered around him. One was even a former state attorney, but no amount of expensive fabric could hide the worry in his eyes. He kept glancing at Jerry. The boy sat next to Monica, holding her hand tightly. He wore a small black jacket and khaki trousers. He looked around, confused but curious, like he still couldn't fully understand the storm around him. The judge entered. Everyone stood. Case number 457, 2025. Monica Uzochi versus Donald Georgian, charges of illegal abduction, custodial manipulation, psychological harm, and deprivation of maternal rights. The courtroom settled. The opening statements began. Donald's lawyer was the first to speak. "Your Honor, Mr. George did not kidnap the child. Jerry was his biological son. There was no custody order. There was no court case at the time. He simply raised his own son the way he saw fit." Monica's heart raced. How easily they twisted everything. Then Ngozi stood. Her voice was firm, clear. "Your Honor, Monica was 18. She gave birth in pain, in isolation, abandoned by the father of her child. Donald George used his power and wealth to steal a child from his mother under the lie of love. No legal adoption, no consent. And when she tried to fight, he buried her cries with his connections." Gasps filled the courtroom. Ngozi wasn't done. "Today, we don't just ask for justice. We ask for a reckoning for every poor girl who was silenced, every mother told her pain wasn't real enough to matter." The judge nodded slowly. "Proceed with your evidence." Ngozi stepped forward with Monica's medical records, dated photographs from the delivery clinic, a witness from the clinic's staff, and phone records showing Donald's sudden disappearance. But the moment that changed everything came when Jerry himself was called to speak. He was hesitant at first. Monica bent beside him and whispered, "It's okay. Just speak from your heart." The boy walked up to the small witness stand, feet barely touching the wooden footrest. The court clerk adjusted the mic. "State your name, please." "Jerry." "And how old are you?" "6. Ngozi gently asked. "Jerry, do you remember the lady who saved you at the hotel?" He nodded. Do you feel safe with her? Yes. Do you know who she is? Jerry paused. His tiny fingers curled around the edge of the wooden stand. She's my mummy, he said quietly. She smells like someone I missed. The courtroom fell silent. Monica covered her mouth to stop the sob rising in her throat. Donald shifted uncomfortably. Then Jerry added something no one expected. Daddy said my mummy died. He lied. The judge narrowed his eyes. Is that true, Mr. George? Donald didn't answer. Ngozi leaned in. No further questions, Your Honor. That night, every news outlet in the country ran the same headline. Billionaire lies exposed in court cleaner, mom reclaims son. Social media exploded. NGOs, women's rights groups, and thousands of citizens across Nigeria stood with Monica. The people had found their hero not in someone rich or famous, but in a woman who never stopped believing her son was out there. By the final hearing, the courtroom was full again. This time, even Monica's parents were there sitting quietly at the back. The judge delivered his sentence. Mr. Donald George, while the court acknowledges you are the biological father of the child, your actions showed a complete disregard for the law and for human dignity. The emotional damage caused to Miss Monica Uzochi is immeasurable. However, due to your cooperation and first-time offense, the court will not sentence you to jail. Donald exhaled in relief. But, the judge continued, you are hereby ordered to pay $1 million to Monica Uzochi for psychological trauma, abduction, denial of maternal rights, and obstruction of justice. In addition, you are to surrender full custody of the child, Jerry Uzochi, to his mother immediately and must cooperate with her for all future legal matters. Donald's mouth dropped. His lawyer leaned in, whispering furiously. Monica simply closed her eyes, letting the tears fall freely. She had won. After the verdict, the crowd waited outside the court. Some cheered. Others clapped. As Monica stepped out holding Jerry's hand, the cameras rolled again. But this time, Monica wasn't just the poor cleaner who saved a boy. She was the woman who took back everything that was stolen from her. That night, she sat in the small rented flat given to her by the Women's Advocacy Foundation. Jerry lay asleep on her lap, hugging the same teddy bear. Ngozi sat across from her, smiling. What now, Monica? Monica looked down at her son, then back up with eyes full of light. I'm going back to school. I want to study software engineering. I want Jerry to see that his mother didn't just survive, she rose. And as the city outside bustled with lights and noise, Monica finally felt peace in her chest. But far away, in a glass mansion overlooking the ocean, Donald watched the news play over and over again. He replayed Jerry's words. He stared at Monica's face. Then, he made a call. Find out where she's studying, he said slowly. I want to make things right. I want her to marry me. Because in Donald's mind, he had lost a battle. But the war he believed was not over. Monica walked across the university hallway, now dressed in jeans and a branded campus t-shirt, her laptop bag slung across her shoulder. Her eyes sparkled with the confidence of someone rebuilding her life from the ground up. She was finally enrolled in a software engineering program, something she once believed was impossible. Jerry, now more cheerful and expressive, often ran to her after school, excitedly telling her stories of his new friends and teachers. They lived in a modest but cozy apartment funded by the settlement money. For Monica, life was finally beginning to make sense. Until Donald showed up. It was a Saturday. Monica had just finished giving a presentation at a tech conference when she saw him standing near the exit in a crisp navy blue suit, holding a bouquet of white lilies. She froze. Monica, he said, stepping closer. Please, hear me out. Her face hardened. You've had 5 years to talk, Donald. I don't think I have anything to hear anymore. I made mistakes, he said quickly. Terrible ones. But I loved you. I still do. And now I see what I threw away. You're strong, brilliant, and an amazing mother. She gave a short laugh, folding her arms. And now that I've picked up my broken pieces, you remember your love? He looked down, then knelt right there, in front of the entire conference crowd. Gasps echoed. Phones went up. Donald pulled out a small velvet box. Marry me, Monica. Let's raise Jerry together. The right way this time. I want to be a family." The crowd held their breath. Monica's face didn't change. "You left me to rot, Donald. While I cleaned floors, you lived like royalty. While I cried myself to sleep, you built empires. Love didn't stop you then." He opened his mouth, but she raised her hand. "You don't love me. You love what I've become. But I'm not here for fairy tales anymore. I'm here to build." She turned, her heels clicking confidently against the tiles. And as she walked away, the cameras followed not him on one knee, but her, standing tall. Rain fell gently in the village of Nusuka, where it all began. Monica stood outside a newly painted bungalow, the roof shining with fresh red zinc sheets. The family house she once left behind in shame was now rebuilt, bigger, brighter, and stronger. Just like her. Her parents, David and Sandra, stood at the doorway, tears in their eyes. Her father cleared his throat, voice shaky. "Monica, we failed you. We threw you out when you needed us most. We were proud and wrong." Sandra sobbed quietly. "We let the world turn our hearts cold. Please, forgive us." Monica stepped forward slowly, holding Jerry's hand. "I don't need an apology," she said softly. "I need my family back." Her father broke down, wrapping his arms around her. Her mother joined in. And there, under the misty village rain, broken hearts were stitched back together. Months later, Monica stood on a grand university stage, wearing a white graduation gown. Her name echoed through the speakers. Monica Uzochi, Bachelor of Science in Software Engineering. Applause erupted. She walked with grace, shaking the dean's hand, her eyes searching the crowd for one person, Jerry. He was on another stage across the university, dressed in a medical robe, stethoscope around his neck, the youngest graduate in his department. At just 11, he had completed high school and college through special gifted child programs, mother and son, walking across different stages. On the same day, the crowd roared when Monica and Jerry found each other afterward in the garden. He jumped into her arms. "We did it, Mummy." She smiled, kissing his cheek. "Yes, baby. We really did." That evening, a quiet figure stood at the edge of the crowd. Donald. He watched them, Monica laughing with other graduates, Jerry proudly showing off his degree. She had grown into everything he once feared, and everything he now admired. He walked up slowly and stood behind her. "I mean it this time," he said gently. "Even if it's just friendship. I want to be part of Jerry's life." Monica turned, looked at him carefully. "I believe in forgiveness," she said. "But not all stories are love stories, Donald. Some are lessons." He nodded slowly, eyes glistening. "I'll take that." Later, at the village celebration, Monica stood before the crowd, holding a microphone. "This is for every girl told she wasn't enough, every cleaner who was invisible, every mother who was silenced." The villagers clapped. Some cried. "And to my son, Jerry, thank you for being the light that guided me home." And under the stars, surrounded by family, friends, and the future she built with her own hands, Monica danced, not as a cleaner, not as a victim, but as a woman who rose. If you like this story, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting stories.